Hi everyone, I'm Jake with Rederly, and today we're going to walk you through what to expect when taking your final exam in WeBWorK. First, you need to log in. You should receive a link to your final exam website. If you are in multiple different classes, each class may have a different website, so make sure you navigate to the correct one. Once you navigate to your final exam website, input your credentials and hit continue to sign in. Okay, so now I'm signed in. Once you're logged in, you'll see your various tests. In this case, there's a practice test and a final exam. The practice test is open until the end of June 1st, and the final will not become available until May 18th. If you look to the right of the page, you will see course info, which is very important. This is where your instructor can input information for your test. If you're taking your exam on a mobile device, this section will appear at the bottom of the page, so make sure to scroll down so you don't miss it. In this course info section, your instructor should specify the length of your exam, when your final exam will open and close, and the number of times you can submit your exam for grading. In this case, you will have 2 hours to complete your exam, and you only have one submission. In terms of exam window, make sure to read the directions closely. Your instructor has the ability to allow you to begin the exam anytime during the window or to close the window abruptly at the end. For example, this exam is set to end at May 20th at 11:59 p.m., which can mean one of two situations. In the first situation, which is less common, it could mean all answers need to be submitted before 11:59. In that case, you should try to start by 10 p.m. to get the full 2 hours. The other situation, which is more common, you can start anytime before 11:59 for the full window. In this case, even if you start at 11:59, you're going to get the full 2 hours to complete the exam. Our course info clearly states that we're dealing with the latter situation where you can start your exam anytime up until 11:59 and still receive the full 2 hours. This is the setting that we recommend professors use, but just communicate with your professor and read the directions carefully so that there's no miscommunication there. Okay, let's start the exam. For this example, I'm going to use this practice test. So I click Take Practice Test, and you can see as soon as I do, it takes me to the practice test, and there is this timer in the top right. So make sure to keep an eye on this timer, as you must submit your answers before time runs out for them to be recorded. Another important feature to notice here is preview answers. Think of preview answers as save. So I'm going to input a few dummy answers. I'm just going to put 0 for everything. So I'll do A, B, and C in problem 1. I'm going to skip D and E. I'm going to skip problem 2. And then I'll put 0 for problem 3 and 0 for problem 4. Then I'm going to hit preview answers to save those answers. Okay, so I've hit preview answers. The first thing to notice is you're going to get this red bar. This red bar just means that your answers are saved. It is not an indication as to whether your answers are correct or not. So don't worry about it. And then you'll see, okay, I submitted A, B, and C for the first problem. I don't have anything for D and E, so there's nothing there. I didn't submit problem 2. There's nothing there. I did submit problem 3 and I did submit problem 4. Okay, so I'm going to input for now the other. I'll put D and E for problem 1, and then I'll also put for problem 2. I'm just once again putting 0 for everything. Okay, so let's simulate the situation where for some reason I get logged out. If that does happen, don't worry, just log right back in. Okay, so I'm logged back in. To navigate back to my test, I'm just going to hit Take Practice Test again, and it'll bring me right back to where I was. A few things to note here. One, depending on if you were looking at the timer or not, you may have noticed that this did not stop the time. The fact that I was logged out, that time is still ticking down, whether you're logged in or logged out. So the timer is going regardless. The other thing to notice, and this is the beauty of preview answers, is the ones that I saved through preview answers are still here. So problem 1, remember I put in D and E for the rest of problem 1, and then I input 0 for all these in problem 2, and those weren't recorded because I didn't hit preview answers, but problem 3 and problem 4 are. The other thing to note here is I only hit preview answers on problem 4, but because I had put answers in for part of problem 1 and problem 3, those still recorded. The only reason that we have preview answers on every single problem is just for convenience. So you can hit preview answers anywhere and it's going to save everywhere. Okay, let's say that I finish my exam. I'm not actually going to write answers for everything, but let's say that I finish my exam or I'm running out of time and I want to submit. So I will go down to the bottom here and it's grade test. It's important to note that in this case, I only have one submission attempt as outlined in the course info section. Therefore, after I click grade test, I will no longer be able to change my answers. Make sure you are done with your test before clicking grade test, as it is the equivalent of handing in your exam. I'm done with my exam, so I'm going to click grade test. Okay, you can see that once I click this, I get a screen with this green bar that said that my score was recorded. That's how I know that my answers were submitted and my exam is now over. Best of luck on your final exams.